So, oh boy, it's that time again.
I am so excited.
It's time for Dark Souls.
Let's hope it's not a repeat of 2.
Well, it's certainly not, because it's 3.
Oh, well, we're off to a good start.
But I figured it's maybe the last entry in what is maybe a trilogy, so I figured we switch it up this time, and bring some people along for the ride. So along with us for this session, we have LooseBricks.
Hello.
So, kind of tell everyone what your experience with Dark Souls is.
Pretty much not a lot, but I have played the first 2. I did enjoy them very much. And also, Hail to the Sun God.
Well, there's not going to be a whole lot of hailing in this game, because a lot of stuff works differently from the first 2 games. You can see it says purchase DLC. That's only because I have the Season Pass uninstalled, because there's an annoying NPC that shows up if I have one of the DLCs installed. So we're going to come back to him later.
Great. Love DLC bosses.
But if you need to know anything about this game prior to playing it, it's just kind of forget that Dark Souls 2 even happened.
Oh no.
Because this game somewhat forgets that Dark Souls 2 happens.
It seemed like a different universe, it's fine.
Like, there are still references to each of the previous games, but for the most part, it's just almost like a direct sequel to Dark Souls 1.
Wow. Is there any chronology to it? I mean, I know there's not much lore, period, but...
This one is after Dark Souls 1. That's it's about as clear
That's
as
the
it gets.
chronology.
I was just
Yeah.
going to ask that question, if it's right after Dark Souls 1.
So, Dark Souls 2 was, like, believed to be about 2,000 years after Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 3, let's just say it's the end of time.
Oh.
So, there's no real clear, like, this is how long it's been.
Aldrich, Saint of the Deep.
Hey, the first one happened, and now, hey, there's more stuff happening.
Yeah, one of the complaints a lot of people have about this game is that it kind of references the first one maybe a bit too much.
Undead Legion.
It just feels like it's just a sequel to Dark Souls 1.
Kind of. But here we're getting a preview of some of the bosses we're gonna fight.
Boy. I'd like Scary Goo Man.
Most people don't. For a lot of reasons that we won't go into, because I actually really like that fight.
Awesome.
And that's one thing that really changes for me between 2 and 3, is I really like most, if not all, of the boss fights from this game.
No, that's good.
Where's my face?
He's just like the last giant. Just doesn't have a face.
Only
You joke.
the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise.
The Unkindled.
Yep, that's the name for us this time.
Alright.
Instead of Chosen Undead
Accursed undead.
and whatever it was in 2, because I forgot.
Who remembers?
In this game we are called the Ashen One.
2 didn't happen in this game, so you just kind of have to forget anyways.
Don't worry about 2. 2 never happened. We don't talk about 2.
2 was never a thing.
Just leave it in the past.
So, character creation. It's basically, if you've played any of these games, it's the same setup. The only difference here is that there are a few extra features that we get from Bloodborne, which is a really nice touch.
Ooh.
Most of these classes are pretty, like, choose what you want, but since this is my Dark Souls LP, there's only really one class we could ever be.
The Deprived?
And that's the Naked Boy.
Alright.
There's no like advantage that I feel to this class. I just like starting with nothing. So burial gifts you can choose. Most of these are kind of useless. I'd say the fire gem is maybe your best bet because you can imbue a weapon with fire really early on, and that's pretty good for the early game.
Is it a one-time use kind of thing?
Yes.
Oh.
So we have our face presets. We're not going to use any of these, even though some of them are really weird.
What was wrong with
Oh
his
my God.
face on that one?
Which one? Because it's all of them.
They're all pretty bad.
It doesn't matter what I configure here, because from Bloodborne, I can actually save my favorites. So we're going to use one I already created. So just ignore these. Just don't. Please don't look.
You know, I'm just used to these though, so it's fine. It's fine. Oh God.
I somehow created the Joker. I apologize. That was not intentional.
I wish you would have kept that one.
I wish you would have just used Granny.
So I call her Granny Big Head because she has a very large head.
Oh. What was the name we gave the clown that you created in Oblivion, maybe?
Oh man, you're asking me to go way too far back for that.
Yeah. God, that thing was ugly.
So we're playing Cool Guy McGruff, who's cool because he has a scar over his eye and it made his eye all milky white because he's cool.
He's also apparently a crime dog?
He was in a past life. Now he's the Ash Boy.
Alright.
So yeah, I'm actually a lot paler than I appeared in that cutscene. So let's get a look at his face.
No, he's not hollowed, so that's something.
So yeah, hollowing works a little bit differently in this game, and we'll have a lot of time later to figure that out, because it's not quite a mechanic that's as prevalent as it was in the other two games.
So you're not quite as ugly as you were in the other two games.
Not yet, anyway.
Oh, looking forward to that.
So what we have here is an actual tutorial area that is unskippable, unlike Dark Souls 2.
Good.
So these are just grave tenders. They're apparently all asleep on the job.
I mean, I would be. It's a tutorial area. That wasn't very nice. He was taking a pee.
So the item we just picked up was an Ashen Estus Flask, and that's really the big difference between the first two Dark Souls games and this one, is much like Demon Souls, we now have a blue meter under our health, and that's for FP. So for weapon skills and for magic, we'll be using that instead of like predetermined amounts of uses. It's not really going to be an issue since I don't really use skills. Here I am demoing the one for the club, which gives you an attack boost.
So all the weapons have their own kind of like magical ability in a sense?
It's more their weapon classes.
Oh.
So clubs all tend to have the same ones. Short swords, great swords.
Interesting.
So, yeah, they're all pretty unique.
It's a different mechanic.
Some of them are actually useful.
That makes it sound bad. Oh, that's an interesting creature.
So this is a crystal lizard, but not necessarily the crystal lizards from the other game.
Right.
This one's a little bit bigger.
Yeah. And a little nastier.
But also from Bloodborne, we have visceral attacks, or at least that's what I like to call them. So for this guy, you just bludgeon him enough, and he'll eventually stagger.
Oh, good. He's like the wheel skeletons. Those are always good.
So I need to be pretty careful here, because as easy as I may or may not be making this, he can two-shot me pretty quickly.
Of course he can.
especially since I have little to no clothing on.
And you're also at the lowest possible stats.
So, okay.
Okay, that was quick. Thankfully, you're breaking all of his teeth, so...
It's kind of weird when he opens his jaw like that. You can actually see through it.
Yeah, he kind of clips through himself.
Like it's not really connected.
I was going to say something about that, but everybody got to it before me.
So what he dropped was Demon Titanite, and that's the boss weapon upgrade item.
Okay.
So we're not really gonna use that. There is a boss item that I actually do use in this LP, which is a switch,
That's surprising.
because it's actually pretty cool, and I have the stats to use it.
Wow. This is definitely a different LP from your old games.
Yeah, just look at how little I'm using my shield already.
Good point. I am glad to see that the combat looks much better in Dark Souls 3 than it was in 2.
Rolling is a nice addition, I guess, since it was kind of taken out.
Reinvention?
So we kind of came from the base of that large castle back there. We're not going to go there ever. It's more for the aesthetic.
Alright.
So it's pretty much like, hey, here's this thing that you can't have.
Kinda.
Hey, look at the graphics we've updated.
They're pretty, right?
Yeah,
Right?
our trees don't look like squares.
I do have to run this on kind of low settings, because I don't know if it's the PC port or it's just me, but this thing can stutter like crazy. So I mean, we're just going around killing people, because that seems like the right thing to do.
As you will.
As they're just doing nothing but sitting there and sleeping. You monster.
He's pretty brutal murderer.
I mean, did you see the way that guy may have looked at me had he been facing my direction?
Or had eyes.
They have eyes, they're just under the hood.
Yeah. Oh, right in the gut.
So shield bashes work the same way as they do in 2. You can keep wailing on people. You can only use it for certain attacks, though, because there are other attacks that will just bounce off of shields and not do anything. So your best bet is to just two-hand a weapon and hit them.
Apparently, just murder people with your club.
Which is essentially like how you play the whole game. So here we have plunging attacks, which I'd say work better in this game because they reduced fall damage by a lot.
Oh, that's good.
Whereas a 3-foot fall in Dark Souls 2 would have killed me, this one maybe doesn't.
It hurts a little bit, but not as bad.
So here I'm just going to do a little bit of a demo of having this shield out will actually cause me to do the shield bash skill. And having the weapon out causes the weapon skill. So if I want to parry, I actually can't have anything on right now.
Oh, jeez.
So there are shields dedicated to parrying where I don't have to do this later, but for now, dealing with this guy.
So you can't parry at all with the shield?
Not with that shield.
Oh.
Just certain shields.
Oh
Wow.
my.
So this guy's got something on his back.
It's
Something in
some
his
kinda
chest.
Tentacle monster?
So welcome to the first boss of the game. This is Erex Gundyr, which means Judge Gundyr.
Gundyr. What a silly name.
He is maybe my favorite tutorial boss out of any of the games.
It's weird that you parry, stun them, and then pull out your weapon. Oh.
So a lot like Bloodborne, this game teaches you early on that bosses have phases.
Beautiful.
And aside from 2 boss fights in this game, they all have at least a second phase.
I feel like this is an absolute horrible way to say thank you for releasing that sword from his body.
Well, maybe he wanted to leave that sword in. It was keeping things at bay.
Well, if you go by the lore, you actually know that you're supposed to pull that out. Because I guess he put that in him? I don't know. That's not really explained.
Just that it is a thing.
So he's infected with what's called the pus of man, and we'll see that in a few more enemies. But for now, just pointing at a butt.
Use an air of fire.
So the biggest change to how a lot of the game mechanics work here is the system of embering. So like humanity and human effigies, it's sort of your way to become human so that you can summon people. But in Dark Souls 2, human effigies would bring your max health back to full. This one adds 30% to your health bar.
Oh.
So you'll actually want to be embered as much as possible. So it may not look it, but the Broken Straight Sword is actually about as good as the club right now.
That's not okay. Ooh.
Okay, I promise I'm good at this game, guys.
You're getting there. First time playthroughs are hard.
Oh man, I don't even know how many this is.
I've missed those body physics.
Yeah, ragdolls are back in this game.
Yeah, kicking the bodies
And
around.
some of them are kind of broken.
When are they not?
In Dark Souls 2, when they disappear.
Okay, well, yeah,
That's the exception.
that is the exception. But that whole game is an exception. I'm just imagining if there was a news outlet just saying, and we have a crazed man running around naked, slashing people with a broken sword.
I'd like you to add an addendum to that. I am technically wearing pants. It's called a loincloth.
A loincloth, right. Most people would describe that as naked. And you have a rope sash.
That is not part of the loincloth entourage. There's actually a fancier version of the loincloth that we'll get from somebody later, but not now because he's going to kick my ass.
Ah, dear God. This is what happens if you lose a Miss America contest. You go nuts and kill everyone.
So this guy's supposed to teach you how to kick people off ledges or backstab them, but if you don't do that, his AI kind of doesn't know what to do.
Just break his AI.
Oh,
Beautiful.
now he's mad.
Oh, okay, now he figured it out. This is for screwing up. I'm just gonna run at you continuously.
Well, he's just got to say hi.
Hi,
He just wants
hi,
to be
hello.
polite.
He's trying to be a friend. And you're murdering everyone.
I believe that's my version of being polite.
That's how you say hello.
That was our shield. What are you doing?
Why did you take that?
They actually don't come after you unless you grab that shield.
We were supposed to protect that, Jim. What the hell?
So up there, if you can see him, that's Mr. Fancy Loincloth. He's
Oh.
got a very fancy sword that will kill me very quickly.
You could take him
Well, no, we're going to deal with him later.
with your broken sword.
He's got his fancy katana where the steel's folded 1,000 times.
I'm pretty sure I did hear you say, I am good at this game.
Yeah.
I'll be saying that a lot, preferably at times where maybe that's not showing. But I promise I'm good, you guys.
I'm sure that never happens.
Hey, I beat a boss, didn't I?
You technically did, yes.
So dog enemies.
Oh, you're prepping for this one.
Dogs are a little mean in this game.
Oh, good.
But I can be mean right back.
So, first you're going around murdering dudes just on the graveyard shift, literally, and killing dogs.
Yeah. How's that news looking now?
I'm glad they kept the dogs being complete assholes from Bloodborne. That's lovely.
Yep. And if you've played Dark Souls 1, the name of this area might be pretty familiar.
Oh. Huh.
So we're back in Firelink Shrine. This one has a dedicated firekeeper / level up lady, much like all of the games except Dark Souls 1.
I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have
At least she
left
can
their
talk,
thrones,
unlike the first
and must
Firelink
be
Shrine
delivered to them.
lady.
But she just didn't want
To
to
this
talk.
end, I am at thy side.
And also her tongue was cut out.
Exactly.
Ashen One, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen One, bring me souls plucked from their vessels.
Oh, that's morbid.
Lady, we just met.
Very well. Then
So
touch
we gotta
the
level up.
darkness within me.
We're not going to level up a whole lot.
Take
Pretty
nourishment
much
from these
like the
sovereignless
basic stats
souls.
I'm only going to level up as I need them for new weapons. So this time around, we're just going to level up strength. But a new stat in this game is luck, which affects item discovery and a couple of other things. I'm just glad that adaptability is gone, so I don't have to worry about that weird stat anymore.
Farewell, Ashen One. May
Does that only
the
you level up
flames guide
once in strength?
I only need to level up once.
Okay.
So a nice thing about the Firekeeper, which I actually didn't figure out until only a few months ago, is that she reacts to certain gestures.
Oh, that's cool.
So really, the more goofy you act, the better.
She's laughing at you, mostly because she probably saw your dick.
So here's our shop lady.
Ashen One. I am but a humble
Gonna show her your dick
handmaid of
too.
the shrine,
Yeah, I don't think we need to be on the news for that. We've already got a rap sheet long enough.
and spell.
Bounty's gonna be huge.
I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes,
I hope he can see your naked shadow.
But
Oh, they
so
can.
charitable as to give
Oh,
The closer you
wonderful.
are to a bonfire, the more not a ghost you look like, and the more you look like you. So if we were next to the bonfire, they'd see everything.
as is
Oh,
their
God.
wont.
Glorious.
So she's weird.
Ashen
Could be
One,
worse.
If my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With
So I
ash,
noticed that none of
I'll
you
fashion
noticed,
new wares.
What's behind her?
Is it not our
gravestones?
sorry fate?
A lot of headstones.
From death?
Wow. She's just
She's the real monster.
selling headstones. Part of her wares.
Hey, she's trying to keep a business running.
Not enough people were bringing in umbral ash. She's got to make money somehow.
So we'll learn about that mechanic later of bringing her ash. Essentially just adds to her store.
Hmm.
But we need to equip up. So we're gonna get a proper weapon, gonna get a way to heal, and we're gonna cover up our shame.
Oh. Hero's hoping you're gonna go naked the whole time.
No, not having like just one piece of armor really detracts from your armor rating, and you take a lot more damage.
You mean like that lizard biting you once and you were almost dead?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hang on.
So, if you've played Dark Souls 1, you should maybe recognize this dude.
Huh. Hello. You've survived all this time.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine.
He's no longer Andre of Astora, huh?
Smith, forging
He still is.
weapons.
Oh.
He's the same dude and
You're
everything.
in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith. Such is my purpose.
Please give me work. I've been out of work for so long.
So a lot like Dark Souls 2, this is sort of our hub area. So all of our merchants are going to be here. Andre's the only blacksmith we have to worry about, so that's more convenient.
Wow.
So we'll be coming back a lot to Firelink, which is a complaint that some people have about the game, but at least everything is centralized, and if you need to find a merchant, you know where they are.
Yeah.
But should chance impel them,
So there's not, like, different blacksmiths out there that make different things, it is all one place?
they take
So the way that they consolidate everything into just this blacksmith is we'll find items that sort of expand his inventory as well.
Like the Embers did for
ways to smith weapons.
Dark Souls 1, kind of.
Simple reinforcement is one, and infusion the other. Reinforcement is straightforward. It strengthens a weapon without altering its property. Infusion is a more advanced form of smithing that infuses an element.
So
Reinforcement
this
requires
infusion comes right from Dark Souls 2, where you can change a weapon's element on the fly. You don't have to like reset everything like it was in Dark Souls 1.
purpose after all.
Right.
We're going to use that a little bit in the beginning, but for the most part, weapons are kind of fine as they are, and you can use spells to imbue weapons later on.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
So get used to hearing that, because he says it at the end of every conversation.
It's pretty close to what he used to say in Dark Souls 1.
So we have a couple more people around here that we can talk to, like the crestfallen idiot.
Oh my god, seriously?
Yup.
Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots.
So whereas the other guys were a little downtrodden,
Think?
this guy's actually kind of actively pissed at the whole situation.
I like it better that way.
What a sick joke. Asking us to seek the Lords of Cinder. We're talking true legends.
So we're gonna leave him for now. He's kind of one note.
He's really sad. He just needs to be by himself right now.
He actually gets so sad later on that he leaves and goes and broods for a while. He doesn't actually go anywhere, he just leaves.
Glorious. He just has to walk outside for a little bit in the graveyard.
So Holy King Lothric's the only guy not mentioned in the opening cutscene. And we'll see why.
Okay.
But if you noticed, Ludleth actually is here.
Oh.
No need to go kill him.
Oh, good.
All that unkindled, and a seeker of lords.
He looks pretty sickly.
A little bit. I still don't know if he's like sitting on his legs or if his legs just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I was trying to find out if they were blending into the background or if he just really doesn't have legs.
No, they're just underneath like his little skirt thing.
He's cold. Look at how old he is.
His legs are gonna fall asleep. Then you gotta shake him, you get that tingly feeling.
Man, they probably fell asleep ages ago. He probably doesn't even remember he has legs.
Lords, as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast fading flame must be licked to preserve this world.
Oh, are you gonna get a choice at the end of linking the fire or not linking the fire?
We actually get more of a choice in this game than any of the other games.
Ooh.
But that is not for a long time, so you don't have to worry about it.
Alright.
Sir, you are way too short to be a Colossus.
No star of age.
Well, no, that's just how he'll die. He's living as a tiny, tiny man.
Overlong.
So the Lords of Cinder all linked the flame in their own time. Except for Aldrich, which is really funny. They forced him to become a Lord of Cinder. So Mr. Goo Boy actually had to, be dragged kicking and screaming.
Great. No, I don't want to go.
But that'll do it for right now. We've talked to everybody around the shrine.
Right.
Up next, we'll get started proper.